Being a leader is not easy, okay? It is fairly difficult because we've got to be the example. As leaders, we're responsible for getting people and pointing them in the right direction, not just holding them steady like a manager. As leaders, our role is to set a path and show people the way. It's more than a notion. It is. Today I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what it means to be the exception and not the rule, okay? And that's what leaders are. We're the exception, not the rule. But what does that look like? How do you achieve it? If that sounds like something that you're interested in learning more about, please stick around. I forgot to tell you, I'm Andrea, the BU boss, and my goal is to teach you my BU method here on this channel, sharing with you tips and tricks on how to leverage who you are to get where it is you want to go, how to become the Chief Executive Officer of your life. By the way, I have a program called Project CEO. We'll be talking about that a little bit later, but the whole goal of the program is to teach you how to do exactly what I'm talking about right now. Lead in your life, learning how to be the leader of your own life so that you can then apply those skills to every aspect of your life moving forward. Life, career, business, all of it, okay? I digress. Let's get into today's tips, okay? How we show up in the world is extremely important, but in order for us to show up as leaders, we have to know ourselves. We have to become the exception. So I want to share with you today what that looks like. As a leader, it is important to create standard operating practices. Now, this is true for businesses. When you have a business, businesses typically have a standard operating practice, the way they do things within the organization. I'm telling you that as a leader, the chief executive officer of yourself, you should have personal standard operating practices. And I'm going to share with you where those standard operating practices need to lie in this video, okay? The first thing is leaders lead, okay? They are leaders. They are not people who are struggling to find themselves and understand what they need to do and be their best. Leaders understand what it is that keeps them on top of their game. They understand the requirements to stay in the know, to continue to educate themselves, to continue to evolve. They are leaders. All right, now, as a leader, like I said, it is quite difficult. It's more than a notion. They don't struggle with seeking out the things that they need to do and be their best because they've established what that is and they are operating accordingly. Okay. So leaders lead. They don't struggle through life trying to figure things out. They have a set of standard operating practices. Leaders manage their mindset. This is so important. I found that I had a scarcity mindset. I was afraid to do things for fear that I wouldn't have enough or I wouldn't be good enough or there wasn't enough of the thing that I wanted to do in order for me to be successful at it. Or maybe people would choose someone else instead of choosing me. You know, imposter syndrome is real. It is not fake. It's true. And sometimes that prevents you from doing the things that you need to do. That's why you have to guard your mindset. And in guarding your mindset, it means staying on top of your game, learning, understanding what's coming up, being in the know, and having a mindset that you are enough and that you are approaching the situation from your own unique perspective. Therefore, you don't have competition. I say it all the time. I'm sure I've said it in every video. You are the sum of your perspective, your influence, your experience, and your passion. And that makes you so extremely unique. It makes what you're bringing to the table like a snowflake or a fingerprint. There's no way people can compete with your experience, with your influence, with your passion, and with your perspective. So if you approach things from that perspective, if you will, your mindset needs to catch up. It needs to understand how awesome you are, and it needs to operate accordingly. So leaders manage their mindset, okay? Now, we could go on and on about all the different things that leaders do, but ultimately, if you want to be a leader, introspection is important. Diving deep into who you are, how you became who you are, and understanding what is true and what is not true. I talk about this when I'm speaking a lot, when I'm telling people, listen, You have baggage. Everyone has baggage. The key is to understand whether or not what's in your bag is something that you put in there or something that someone else put in there for you. And then understanding how to remove those things that don't belong so that you can operate with an amazing bag, one that matches every set of circumstances. And you have things in that bag you can pull out to help you in times of trouble, not a bunch of things weighting you down that cause you trouble in the first place. So your mindset as a leader is going to come from understanding who you are, where you came from, how your decisions have been made in the past, and what you need to do to educate yourself and to change your mindset so that you can start to achieve your goals. That is what it looks like to be a leader, understanding that your mindset is going to change and that it has to evolve over time in order for you to stay on top of your game. So leaders manage their mindset. How can you do that? Well, first of all, you can start by checking out my Project CEO program, because that is what we're going to be doing inside that program. Listen, there are tons of programs out there that you purchase, and they give you videos and slides and worksheets. And the goal is at the end of completing the videos and worksheets that you have the answer to your problem. Well, I'm here to tell you that as a leader, you're responsible for doing the work. I can lead you to the water, but it's up to you to drink. And that's what Project CEO is all about. I am giving you every opportunity to get to that water and drink it and do the work to become the chief executive officer of yourself so that you can take that knowledge and lead everywhere else in your life. It all starts with you. Anybody can show you how to lead outside of you, but only you can become the chief executive officer of yourself and lead yourself. I'm teaching you today about some of the standard operating practices that leaders have. So we've already hit like leaders lead. They don't struggle. They understand what they need to do and be their best. And we've talked about how leaders manage their mindsets. We've talked about that. So now let's talk about what next. Leaders constantly evolve, and they're open to the failures that happen in life. They recognize that life is a journey. It is not a destination. Where you're trying to go, whatever your success looks like, even if you achieve that level of success, you have to maintain that level of success, which means you have to stay on top of your game, which means you have to continue to learn. You have to continue to grow. You have to continue to lead wherever you're leading, and that requires you to evolve. If you've not joined me over on my podcast, please do so. The CEO Mindset Podcast is all about constantly evolving and staying open to those failures, because it's in those failures where you find your success. That's what we're talking about over there. But that's what leaders do. That's why I have the podcast in the first place, is I'm teaching you how to constantly evolve. You only know that when you've done the introspective work to know what you need to do and be your best. To be the best version of you, where do you need to constantly grow? How do you determine whether or not it's time for you to evolve in the first place? What areas do you need to work on right now? Leaders stay on top of that. Leaders know how to constantly evolve. They know how to get down in the trenches and do something different to get the result they're looking for. So if you're looking to create these standard operating practices, if you're looking to be the exception and not the rule, if you want to lead and not follow, you need to get with these standard operating practices that I'm sharing with you today. Okay. Now, the next one is leaders communicate effectively. This is a big one. Did you know that communication is 55% nonverbal? So where you may think that communicating effectively is about using your words wisely, choosing your words wisely, it could be walking into a room and presenting yourself wisely. It could be communicating on social media with the images you use that are evoking the emotions and the responses that you want. Leadership is about communicating effectively. That's one of the standard operating practices. In order for you to determine how you can communicate effectively, you have to know you. You have to understand how you communicate. Then you can determine how to manage the volume of your personality to communicate effectively with others. We go through all of this inside Project CEO. But for now, how do you communicate? Have you established the way you communicate with other people? Do you know how to kind of manage the volume of your personality so that the way you communicate is effective? because everyone doesn't communicate the same. Have you taken into consideration that your communication is 9 times out of 10, or at least 55% of the time, going to be nonverbal communication, not the words coming out of your mouth? I'm telling you, standard operating practices are what we're talking about here, because you and I, as leaders, want to be the exception, not the rule. That's what qualifies us as a leader. Now, the final point that I want to make, the final standard operating practice that I want to share with you is leaders operate efficiently. Now, how does that happen? If you want to be productive in your day, it stands to reason that you need to understand what it is that is going to motivate you, get you up in the morning, what is going to keep you on task and help you stay focused. What are those things that you need to be more efficient in your day? It's not the same for everyone. You can't look to someone else. These are standard operating practices of leadership. This is how you become the exception and not the rule. So, I'll go through them one last time, but ultimately what I want you to understand is that if you are the chief executive officer of yourself, leading yourself first, you can lead everywhere else in your life without stress, with minimized overwhelm, with very little imposter syndrome, and definitely with no competition. You want to get on board with this. If you're struggling with it, if you struggled in the past, if you're still trying to understand how you can get that thing done, why you constantly seem to stay stuck in the same place, get on the wait list for Project CEO. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with the outside world, nothing to do with whether or not you understand the course you just took. And 9 times out of 10, it's more to do with you and understanding how you need to lead you to make those things work for you, to apply the knowledge that you just gained from that program or from that class that you took. We are the leaders of ourselves. No one else can do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves, which means we need to be able to lead ourselves. We need to be the chief executive officer of ourselves. Okay? So what does it take for you to be the exception, the leader, and not the rule? I'll go through them. I'm going to read them because it'll make it faster. Number 1, you're going to lead. You're actually going to do it. You're going to manage your mindset. You're going to constantly evolve. You're going to know what that looks like for you so that you can constantly evolve and stay open to the failures. Don't be afraid of the failures, okay? Embrace the failures, because for every failure, you learn what not to do the next time. It informs your next decision, okay? And that next decision could be the one that gets you where you want to go. Also, you're going to communicate more effectively. These are standard operating practices, communicating effectively, knowing how to manage the volume of your personality so that you can communicate in your language, but be heard, be understood, so that the words that come out of your mouth can be used effectively. And then lastly, you're going to operate efficiently. You're going to know how to manage your time, how to stay focused, how to overcome triggers, manage them so that you're not distracted, and you can get where it is you're trying to go. Now, I hope you get it. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up. See it? Click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Again, I'm Andrea Patrick, the BU Boss, and I'm sharing my BU method here with you on my channel so that you can become the chief executive officer of yourself and lead yourself first. Know what you need to be the leader you want to be so that you can apply that in every set of circumstances. That's what I'm teaching here on this channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And oh, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, head over to Instagram and follow me. And also make sure that you head down to the description link down there and join the wait list for Project CEO. We're going to be getting started soon. The doors will be opening soon. And everybody on the wait list is going to get the benefit of those bonuses, those extras, and those discounts. Okay, if you're not on the wait list and you come in the day of or at the webinar or something like that, you're not going to get as good a deal. So, hey, I'm just telling you, it's easy as adding your name to the wait list, and I will know that you're serious about becoming the chief executive officer of you. All right, thanks for watching it, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.